Hi all, today we are looking at an American monster adventure film directed by Michael Matthews, Love, and Monsters. Just want to say stay safe and stay healthy. The movie starts with explaining about a destruction started because of Agatha 616, an asteroid, heading towards the Earth. Humans, in order to save themselves, launches rockets to destroy the asteroid in space. Because of the collision there is huge release of the chemicals compounds in Earth's environment, causing cold-blooded animals to mutate into large monsters and kill off the 95% of human population within a year. Those who survive, hid inside the bunker underground called colonies. 7 years later, Joel lives in one of many bunkers with others. While all others go to surface to fight monsters with the handmade weapons and collect supplies, Joel left behind in the kitchen. Being an only single person in his colony, he used to spend his time by hanging out with Mavis, an AI robot whose batteries has been run out, and do the target practice with a crossbow. Suddenly they hear a breach in their bunker and the hunting team led by Connor went to kill the monster. Joel wants to help but they ask him stay inside. Rest of the people tracking the movements of the monsters and their people. Suddenly one of them is captured by a monster. Seeing the lives of his companions in danger, he goes out to help them. He saw a giant ant that breached their bunker and kills Connor right in front of him. He freezes in this dangerous situation but got saved by his companions. 7 years ago, he was hanging out with Amy, making a sketch of her. Falling into the moments they are making out on the back seat of their car, but got disturbed by the attack of the monsters on their town. He loves to draw pictures of the monsters and writes about their weakness in his little sketchbook. He tried to contact Amy through a radio. Thinking of meeting his girlfriend again, Joel decided to go on a quest to find Amy's colony. His bunker's family tries to stop him, but he doesn't want to stay, so ultimately they support his decision. Joel, after saying goodbyes to all of the members, started his journey following the west side to meet Amy. Passing through the suburbs, he found a house where he stops by to look for the food and supplies. Joel is attacked by a giant toad monster but is saved by a stray dog. That dog helps Joel to get away safely. After spending the night in a bus, Joel again continues his journey, but this time, accompanied by his new friend. The dog warns him against poisonous berries and other dangers. Joel, while putting all the information into his sketchbook, falls into a nest of worm monsters called sand gobblers, when two survivors, Clyde Dutton and Minnow, rescue him. They are heading north to the mountains, where fewer monsters live due to the colder weather and higher elevation. They teach Joel some basic survival skills like how to shoot a crossbow with a perfect aim, and that not all monsters are hostile, demonstrating how you can always tell in their eyes. They invite Joel to join them, but he insists he must find Amy. As they part ways, Clyde gives Joel a grenade. Continuing west, the boy started to feel scared and hide under a giant toy duck. Soon realizing that they are near a monster, he tries to take Boy out but was confronted by a giant centipede. That giant monster throws Joel away and trapped Boy. Joel freezes, but eventually saves Boy with his crossbow. Sheltering in an abandoned motel, they meet a robot named Mauve-1S. Before her battery dies, Mauve-1S powers his radio long enough to briefly contact Amy. The next day Joel and Boy are attacked by a queen sand gobbler. They hide, but Boy barks, giving away their position. Joel kills the queen with the grenade. After swimming across a pond, Joel is covered in poisonous leeches. He yells at Boy for putting them in danger, causing Boy to run away. Because of the poisonous leeches, Joel starts to hallucinate, but is rescued before he collapses. Joel wakes to finally see Amy. She leads a beach colony of elderly survivors who depend on her. He is introduced to the survivors, Cap, and his crew. Amy confesses she is glad to see Joel, but has become a different person and is still mourning someone. Joel feels embarrassed and ashamed, realizing he never asked if Amy wanted him to come back to her. He got emotional after seeing the message of his colony written on the backside of the map. Joel decides to return to his colony, contacting them on the radio and learning that it has become unsafe and that they too must leave. Cap sends Joel some berries, which he recognizes as poisonous. Realizing Cap is not to be trusted, he rushes to warn Amy but is knocked unconscious. Joel, Amy, and the rest of her colony awake and tied up on the beach. Cap reveals that his group is there to steal supplies and that their yacht is towed by a crab monster controlled with an electrified chain. Cap sets the crab to feed on the colonists, but Joel and Amy escape and is able to fight for their lives, and Boy returns to help. Joel has the opportunity to kill the crab, but he realizes it is not hostile by looking into its eyes, and shoots the electrified chain, freeing it. The crab leaves Joel unharmed and instead kills Cap and his crew, sinking the yacht in the process. Joel recommends Amy and her colony head north. They share a romantic goodbye kiss, and Amy promises she will find him. Joel treks all the way back to his colony, and they too decide to head to the mountains. On the radio, Joel inspires other colonies to take to the surface. As everyone heads north, Clyde and Minnow, already in the mountains, wonder if Joel will survive the next journey. The end. If you like this video, then please subscribe our channel and do let us know which movie you want to see in our channel next.